Welcome to Tales from the Trenches Tuesdays. Today, it is my absolute honor to have Lynne Wester on with me. For those of you who don't know, I'm a bit of a fan of Lynne. I write about her all the time in my blog, and I think that I'm so honored to have her here. So Lynne strongly believes that donor relations is the key to unlocking fundraising success, and that organizations must be dedicated to the donor experience, or as some folks call it, the DX, as they are to the ask itself. Known for positively disrupting the status quo, Lynne helps organizations when they need it the most, when crisis or opportunity arrive. Lynne and her teammates at the DRG partner with nonprofits large and small on a variety of initiatives, from developing sound strategy and vision to utilizing technology and creating meaningful donor engagement, all designed to positively impact the fundraising bottom line. In addition, she is a passionate advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, access, justice, and belonging, especially in the fundraising and nonprofit sector. Lynne regularly contributes to national publications such as the Washington Post, the Chronicle of Philanthropy, and Case Currents as a subject matter expert. She's a four-time author and has contributed to 2 other books. She also hosts the #1 podcast in the world, Fundraising is Funny, alongside Clay Buck. Lynne delivers thought-provoking fundraising lessons with keen focus on the donor experience, internationally known as the industry expert on donor relations. Her Southern accent and crucial honesty resonate in large rooms and in small ones. Lynne received her BA from the University of South Carolina, holds a master's in strategic fundraising and philanthropy, and proudly sports a doctorate from Disney Institute. She volunteers at many nonprofits and serves on the University of South Carolina board. So I devoured your book, the T-Rexes and Kangaroos book. As a matter of fact, I lent it to a colleague, never got it back. They must have loved it. So I bought another one, lent that one out, and never got that one back either. So, I think I need to flip over to the Kindle version or something.
Yeah, either that or they're using them as door props, which, okay.
But the notion of kind of the dinosaur doing things the same way and coincidentally becoming extinct was a great analogy. I've come across it quite often in my career. So, but with that being said, fundraising has changed, certainly in the last, couple of decades, really since COVID has been a total trajectory change. But how do you see the fundraising world as a profession kind of changing in the next 5 or 10 or even, 100 years from now?
Yeah, I don't know about 100 years from now, but the thing that I am hopeful for in fundraising is more emphasis on looking, the Giving USA report came out, and I know you're in Canada, but it seemed like it was all doom and gloom, but it wasn't. It's just people are giving differently, and we're not tracking the way they're giving. Like, it doesn't take into account crowdfunding or GoFundMe or person to person, just handing somebody, a loonie and saying, have a good day. And so it's not all doom and gloom, but what I do want is our profession to become more inclusive. I want there to be 100 more fundraisers that don't look like me. I look across my audiences sometimes and I'm like, oh, fundraising so white. Come on, people, we can do it. Or fundraising so homogenous, not even white, right? And so I want there to be a realization of that. And then the other thing in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm hoping we can work on as a profession is twofold. Number one, and this may or may not alienate or get me fans or followers or whatever. Either way, I'm happy to say it. Our board are not made up of professional fundraisers. I love board members. I love volunteers. I sit on boards. I have areas of expertise. They have areas of expertise. We need to stand firm that we are a profession, just like an attorney, just like an accountant, just like a race car driver or a boat captain. Those are all professions. And I don't hop into a race car and expect to be able to go 200 miles an hour and not crash the thing.
Right.
And I want our volunteers to gain that same respect for our profession so that we don't have board members going, you know what we need? We
Yeah.
need an auction or a golf tournament or another gala.
Right.
And when we say, well, that actually is not as efficient fundraising as direct asking, and could you start by making a gift and all those other things, that we get that respect, because I don't go into your insurance agency and tell you how to sell insurance
Right.
or underwrite a mortgage or all the other things that our board members are so talented at, but we don't get that same respect. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to advancing, and it's something I work on all the time. And
Right.
then the last one is, can we please measure the right things? Can we all get together and decide what matters? Because if I hear one more time, well, we raised X amount of dollars from X amount of donors, I'm like, okay, well, sister over here raised $50,000 because she broke her leg from X amount of donors. Is
Right.
she a great organization? No, she's a girl on GoFundMe who broke her leg and posted a funny meme about it.
Right.
Dollars and donors are not, I don't believe, the most important indicator of fundraising success. I believe it's donors and not donor count, but retention.
Right.
And we, if we could coalesce as an industry around, here are our benchmark standards, here's what good looks like, then we would have a lot less a lot less of, oh my God, they raised this amount of money. Okay, but how did they do it? I'll never forget when the Ice Bucket Challenge happened.
Right.
And you heard, well, what's our Ice Bucket Challenge? And I'm like,
Yes.
stop.
Yeah.
Like, that was their thing. They did
Right.
really well at it. Good for them. But that's not our thing.
Right.
And it was done with a purpose, and it was done to demonstrate,
And it was done very grassroots. You can't
it wasn't
impose
done by
something
a
grassroots.
professional.
Right.
Right. It's like when video first started popping, and now I hear, well, we can help you create a viral video. No, you can't. And if you're
Right.
promising that, you're Shiesty McShysterson. That is
Right.
my name for you. And, so I want us to think about, if we're going to be treated as a profession, then
Right.
we have to have professional standards and measures as well, just like any profession does. So
Right.
if the world record in race car driving is X miles an hour around a track what is ours? Because the measure that we have, and like dollars, donors, and then what percentage of money goes to the recipient,
Right.
the overhead crap.
That's the worst of them all.
Right, because that's not a measure. Now, do I think that nonprofits that are only giving 10% of the money they raise to the people that benefit should be around? No.
Right. But it disadvantages the smaller guys much worse.
Absolutely does. And also, I don't know a single other business, and nonprofits are businesses. Let's not forget that. I run a business. I have to spend money to make money. And some years my overhead, so for example, we just redesigned our website. Well, that was a huge expense.
Sure.
That was added to our overhead this year that wasn't there last year. So am I a horrible businesswoman because I have more overhead this year?
Right.
No, I'm not. So why are we judging the same thing around nonprofits?
Yes. Yeah. Dan Pilatus speaks about that all the time, and I happen to see his movie Uncharitable, and it's unbelievable. He does. In the for-profit world, they also give people ramp room to kind of build things up. He says Tesla lost money for like 15 years. If it was in the nonprofit, they would have shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's laughing himself all the way to the bank.
Right. The board says, well, we've hired a fundraiser. When can we expect them to earn their salary and more? And I'm like, well, give them time. They don't know anything. Like, they don't know anyone. They haven't built a single relationship. So just unrealistic expectations. So it would be nice if we had a coalescing around what matters. And to me, it's donors that I like sustainable fundraising. So I'm not in it for the quick second gift. I'm in it for, are you going to stay with me for 40 years? Not how do I hurry up and get your next $25?
Right. Because you can always hurry up and get that no answer very quickly. And then the game is over.
You sure can. And that results in bad behavior, like putting envelopes in thank you letters and saying, well, it's a convenience so donors can, I'm making it convenient for them. And I'm like, no, you're just rude. Well, people give to it. Of course, because they don't know that they're not, like, people are generous. Like, there are people that give to it, but there are far more people that you're alienating.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
without a doubt. I'm also one who never understands the direct mail. I guess I'm not old enough. I'm not the target audience for direct mail.
I
Where a
understand direct
4-page
mail.
letter does better than a 2-page letter. My theory is if you gave it to me in 5 bullet points, I'm much more likely to read it.
Now, I understand direct mail, and yes, and. So I understand direct mail. I understand there's a market for it. I understand it works for certain demographics. And I've never given a gift using a check because I don't own a checkbook. So direct mail with an envelope isn't going to work for me.
Right.
But direct mail where you send me a postcard and a QR code is going to work for me because I'm going to go to your giving site, and hopefully your giving site is easy and I can make a gift faster than I can purchase from Amazon, which is probably not true, but that's... So I don't bash... The piece of direct mail that I think still wins the day is the handwritten thank you note.
Yes.
It's cross-generational.
Yeah.
It's surprise and delight. It still wins the day and builds relationships. So I think what we're doing is we're, again, applying what works with one group to a many group, and we're making some dangerous assumptions around our direct mail. Yeah. Am I going to sit down and read a 4-page letter? No, not unless it's from the IRS. And I'm going to read every word of it, or it includes check, right? Then I'm going to read it and see if I should cash this or I'm being scammed. But honestly, I'm the same way. But I'm 45, right? I also know other 45-year-olds who do read direct mail and do give that way.
Right.
And so, what I don't want us to do either is make dangerous assumptions based on single factor.
Right.
My age is, so one of my best friends is 45 and she's sending her daughter off to college this fall.
Right.
I don't have children. She and I live completely different lives, but we're the exact same age.
Yeah.
My parents are in their 80s, past 85, both of them. And the biggest pet peeve I have is, well, old people don't like digital. Tell that to my mother, who reads all day on her Kindle, and my father on his iPad.
Right.
She pays all her bills online.
Yes.
Like, they are digital.
Yes.
And it's insulting to them when people treat them that way.
Right. Yeah.
So that blanket statement, you just can't do it.
Right. Lynne, this has been absolutely an eye-opener. I think that what you boil stuff down to is just common sense things, right? Like there's nothing that we've kind of talked about that is, rocket science that you need to have, a neurological degree in. It's just treating people decently, and honestly and frankly. And I think that, that will go such a long way.
Yeah. And I think building relationships takes that, right?
Yeah. If folks wanted to get hold of you, how would they go? What's the best way of going about that?
Sure. Donorrelations.com. Really easy. Or they can reach out on social at Donor Guru. LinkedIn, just search my name. I'm there. I love to connect. You can follow our podcast at fundraisingisfunny.com. It's on Spotify and Apple and all the other ones. Come have a laugh with us. We love to laugh. We're not trying to do anything serious.
Right.
We're literally there to laugh about the nutsiness that is fundraising. So come join us and have a chuckle some morning. It's 20 minutes of your life that hopefully you'll at least laugh half of that. So we believe in it.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Lynne.
Oh, thanks so much, Jack.
Hi, folks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here.